Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's the first video of Thursday, Marshall Memorial. We've waited a little bit because we're trying to reserve the battery today. We really need to be diligent with it because we got a long day. We're going to Revzilla today, and it's a little further than what we anticipated. And I turned the camera on so we could see this buggy coming. They may not like their pictures being taken, but they just got it. So, yeah. I'm taking this chin thing out of my helmet. Brent, it'd be interesting to know if it adds more air or something to the mic. I need to try to get some more air in my helmet, but I still want you to be able to hear me. Alright, we're on a bit of a slope here. My kickstand was holding the bike pretty much straight up, but it worked. And so the purpose of this video is we're going to talk about the rules. How's this going to work, Brent? What are the rules? I don't know how we got started on rules, but last night we were hanging around a campfire. We started talking about it, and then we just said, Brent said, "Hey, let's just talk about it on camera tomorrow." I was like, okay. So, what are you thinking, Brent? Yeah, I'm ready. Do you hear more air inside my helmet, Brent? Good. Okay, so we're going to have a short list of rules. I don't know, there may be set or they may be subject to change as the years go by. But one of the rules for sure that I'd like to have installed is if we've got plans to go somewhere or do something, we're not going to let the weather stop us. You know, unless it's extremely brutal, like higher than 30-mile-an-hour winds, even 30 miles an hour. We should probably, what do you want the cutoff on the wind to be, Brent? Sustained. So, you know, let's say 20 mile an hour is the wind cutoff. You cool with that? Say that again, Brent. That's right. The purpose of the Marshall Memorial is to ride. Like last night, we're sitting at the campfire and we realized Revzilla was a little further than we thought. And we're both looking at each other. Our bubbles are completely busted because we didn't think that's why we came over to Gettysburg, was to try to get closer to Revzilla, thinking it'd be an easy ride. Here it's 150 miles one way. Well, the mileage isn't that bad, but the time was really high, and now we're learning why, because we're having to go through all these cities. Red lights galore. Yep. Coming around. So we've got, you know, the weather thing and our rides. You know, it's not like we're living on a schedule for the Marshall Memorial, but we had a couple things that we wanted to do. And going to Revzilla was one of those things that, you know, we kind of threw out there, hey, wouldn't it be cool to go there since they're in Philly. And then, you know, Brent just happened to have ordered some boots from Revzilla, and he didn't like the style, so he wants to return them. And so, yeah, we've got a reason to go now. So before we left, we decided, hey, take the boots. So that's what's strapped on the back of his bike right now. He's got the shoebox, and he's kept it in prime condition the whole ride so far, through a thunderstorm and everything. So it's awesome. Yeah, if you're going to join on the Marshall Memorial, you've got to watch all the videos. And at the end of our day, that's something that has we just have kind of grown into is at the end of the day we watch our videos and discuss the ride, the trip. So that's kind of fun. So if you want to, get a feel for the Marshall Memorial and what it's all about and the attitude of it all, you got to watch the videos. And there's hours and hours of videos, so you're going to want to start like a year ahead of time. So another rule it would be on the ride, whoever's leader is the navigator. And you can request a stop, but if he doesn't want to stop, if he's in a groove, you just got to go with it, man. Because, being the leader is tough. You got to navigate. It's up to you to make sure you're taking the right roads. You're leading everybody. You got to make sure you're braking enough of time, get everybody heads up. You got to be pointing out dangers on the road as you're coming up to them. If you see them, make sure everybody's aware of it. There's a lot of responsibility on the leader, But on the other hand, it's going to alternate who vlogs every day. So if you're riding second or whatever in the pack and you're vlogging, then you get control of what's get vlogged. If you're having a discussion with somebody and they're not agreeing with you, it's up to you whether you want to share that side of the story or not. So, but as a vlogger, you've got to be conscious that nobody else can be heard on the video. So if they're saying something, a valid point, you can't just say, yep. You got to talk about what's being said and share with the group on the video, because years from now, nobody's going to remember what we were talking about, It's got to be, try to remember or and it's, just try to make a good documentary here, documenting the trip. So, we do know now that the bikes are pretty good firewood haulers. Pretty good at hauling firewood. Yeah, so the Marshall Memorial, the basic gist, it's all about the ride. We got to be riding every day. We can't be, sitting around goofing off.